Welcome everyone to the Recap Otaku channel. Today we're going to take a look at the anime called Kuro ni Shoukanchi. If you're ready, let's get started. In another world, a god's mistake led to Kelvin Celsius being reincarnated by the goddess of reincarnation. Despite his affection for her, he lost all memories of his past life. In exchange, he gained new skills for this new world. Kelvin awakens in a forest with a message from the goddess detailing his situation and stats. He's a summoner, and the menu suggests he register as an adventurer in the nearby town. Kelvin soon learns he tamed the goddess before reincarnation. In Parth, Kelvin reveals how he convinced Melfina to become his companion. He gave up memories for skill points, but can't summon her yet. He registers as a green mage to avoid attention and learns about the guild's ranking system. His first quest is hunting blue slimes. Kelvin buys a wooden rod and tries to weaken slimes for contracts, but gets injured. He names his new companion Clotho and communicates through a servant network. They defeat the slimes. Kelvin encounters a slave trader, but pays no mind. He stays at Spirit Song Inn and starts hunting monsters with Clotho the next day. At the Adventurers Guild, Kelvin is promoted to E rank by Anji. He's worried about taking on higher rank missions solo because he's been hiding his summoner abilities to avoid attention. Anji advises him to upgrade his equipment before aiming for D rank. Kelvin asks for a D rank quest, and Cashel suggests the Black Ghost Knight quest. After a successful mission, Cashel, a D rank adventurer with B rank strength, offers Kelvin to join his party. Kelvin declines, suggesting a competition to defeat the Black Ghost Knight first. Outside the guild, Cashel's party plans to deal with Kelvin. Jimmo reveals Kelvin's stats, and Raj is supposed to handle him gently, but refuses. Inside the castle, they encounter undead skeletons. Kelvin reveals himself as a wind mage. They mistake him for a bounty hunter, and Raj tries to attack, but falls into Kelvin's trap. Jimmo flees and encounters Clotho. Flashback, Kelvin's blue slime, Clotho, evolved into a slime Glutonia. In the present, Clotho defeats Gimmo and captures Raj. Kelvin confronts Cashel, deduces his motives, and incapacitates him. Kelvin enters the Black Ghost Knight's room, learns his name is Gerard, and assesses his skills. They have a civil conversation, and Gerard shares his tragic past involving the fall of his kingdom. Kelvin duels Gerard and wins with Clotho's help. Kelvin turns in the quest, and Cashel's group is imprisoned. Kelvin is to be further promoted by the Guildmaster and encounters a well-dressed man on the stairs. Kelvin meets Guildmaster Leo at Parth's Adventurers Guild. Leo uses his appraising eye to identify Kelvin. They discuss Kelvin's achievements, including defeating the Black Ghost Knight and exposing Cashel's insubordination. Leo questions if Kelvin is a summoner, and after consulting his monsters, Kelvin confirms it. He questions why Leo didn't act against Cashel earlier, and Leo explains the need for solid evidence as Cashel is a noble from Trison. Leo expresses a desire to befriend Kelvin, citing past encounters with otherworlders, the heroes of Doramis. Melfina reveals she reincarnated them and offers more detail later. Leo explains that the heroes were chosen for their looks and knowledge, and mentions a prophecy about the Demon Lord's revival. Kelvin deduces that Leo wants him to protect the town in the hero's absence, and they agree with incentives. Claire congratulates Kelvin on reaching B rank in the guild. Over lunch, Melfina provides vague information about the heroes of Doramis. Kelvin plans to retrieve his reward and buy a slave in an alleyway, aiming to strengthen his party. He spots a half-elf cursed by the Fire Dragon King, making her undesirable. Kelvin learns about the curse and purchases the half-elf named Eiffel, breaking the curse with Sacred Bless. Claire dresses Eiffel as a maid, and they have dinner together. In Kelvin's room, Eiffel learns Kelvin's secrets and allocates her skill points. They share a bed, leading to a sleepless night. A month after Kelvin buys Eiffel, they explore the dark purple forest, level up Eiffel, and gain new skills. Later, Kelvin's group reports subjugating a wicked sage tree to Anji at the Adventurers Guild, who mentions they can take a rank-up exam after one more quest. Anji invites Eiffel and Kelvin to a sweet store and they agree after some persuasion. They meet by a fountain. Eiffel wears a beautiful dress, and they attract attention while sharing sweets. Tabra, the third prince of Tryson, and his guards approach, demanding one of Kelvin's ladies. Kelvin deals with the guards, questions Tabra, and refuses to serve him. They decide to shop for more sweets. At the Holy Empire of Doramus Great Cathedral, Colette prays to Melfina for an audience and receives an oracle about exterminating evil on the western continent. At the end, Eiffel thanks Kelvin. They discuss sharing a bed, and Kelvin reassures her. The next day, they review their party's low levels and discuss their crafting skills. Leo informs Kelvin of a rank D dungeon, the Hermit's Cave, containing a powerful demon, and Kelvin accepts the quest. Kelvin, Eiffel, and Gerard visit the dungeon, meet Archdemon Victor, and discover the Demon Lord's daughter, Gustave. Victor traps them, revealing his plan to become the next Demon Lord. Melfina notes Kelvin's battle junkie habit. Kelvin and Victor clash in an intense battle. Victor uses a black magic spell, raising demons, but Kelvin and Gerard swiftly eliminate them. Victor complements their skills, but tries a sneak attack, which fails. Kelvin binds Victor's arm, but he breaks free. Kelvin's group falls back as their protective spell expires. Victor acknowledges their formidable effort, blaming his weakened state on an era of peace. He casts Djinn Scrimmage, overpowering them. Kelvin, Eiffel, and Gerard try to stop him, but they're too late. Gerard powers up with his loyalty skill and blocks Victor with Eiffel's distraction. They launch a joint attack, and Victor is defeated. Victor admits he lied about eating Sarah to motivate Kelvin's party. A flashback reveals Victor's past as Sarah's protector. King Gustave sealed Sarah's powers and sent her away for her safety. Victor planned to revive her as the next Demon King. Before his death, Victor asks Sarah to join Kelvin's party, but she curses him and her father. The party meets Erd, showing proof of the demon's subjugation. Kelvin conceals Sarah's identity with a camouflage hairpin. Kelvin evolves Gerard into an Abyssal Knight commander. They introduce Sarah to Parth and later report their success to the Adventurers Guild, elevating Kelvin to rank A. The guild celebrates at the end. Sarah reflects on her past memories of Victor, excited about the outside world. Kelvin tames Sarah as a new monster and displays their powerful weapons, Arundite and Dainsleif. Eiffel's confusion about rice leads to a comical discussion. They ride a wagon to Torage, spot a river, and plan to fish. Melfina's absence worries them, but she allows her avatar to be summoned. Bandits, the Black Wind Gang, appear, and Sarah defeats them effortlessly. Kelvin learns their boss is level 70. They reach Torage, meet the Guildmaster Mist, and discuss the Black Wind situation. Sarah locates a bandit in town. The heroes of Doramus, led by Toya and Setsuna, want to help the bandits' victims. Kelvin's group arrives at the bandit base in time to prevent an incident. Kristoff, the bandit leader, hints at a larger plan. The heroes of Doramus join the scene and meet Clotho, protector of the slaves. Misunderstandings clear up and they unite against the bandits. The heroes of Doramus accuse Kelvin's group of being the Black Wind. Kelvin agrees and boasts about Gilda's group vulnerability. The heroes introduce themselves and vow justice. Kelvin proposes a game. Winner gets a wish. Toya initially wants to fight alone, but is convinced otherwise. They move to an open area. Eiffel reveals Kelvin's plan to have the heroes testify against Kristoff. Kelvin downplays Sarah's desire to fight. They prepare to battle. The heroes call upon fairy blessings. Kelvin casts radiant lances. Nana's monster attacks, but Kelvin dodges. He uses Skill Eater on Miyabi, stealing her skill. Toya attacks, but Kelvin holds him off. Setsuna intervenes. Kelvin creates a stone blockade, but Setsuna breaks it. Kelvin attacks Setsuna with a fireball. Toya blocks it. Setsuna pleads for teamwork. The fight continues. A light fairy blinds Kelvin. Nana and Miyabi immobilize him with magic. Toya and Setsuna attack, but Kelvin counters. Kelvin advises the heroes. They trap Kelvin, but he summons guardians and uses stolen skills to defeat them. Toya learns the truth and apologizes to Kelvin. Kelvin forgives him. They agree to the bargain. Kelvin's team is asked to strip. Kelvin, Mist, and a guild receptionist watch as Luca, her mother, and other freed slaves depart on a wagon. Afterward, Mist asks Kelvin about his plan, and he mentions a fun punishment game. In a cave, the heroes of Doramus battle a giant octopus while Kelvin observes. Sarah fishes nearby. Eiffel and Clotho prepare a picnic. Despite Kelvin's advice, they struggle. When they finally win, they have a picnic, mentioning Priestess Colette, their summoning, and meeting Melfina. Kelvin asks about facing an S-class dungeon. They admit they'd have to run. Sarah catches a sinister dragon, impressing Kelvin, who helps her. Kelvin and his group bid farewell to Toya's group, giving pendants as parting gifts. Gerard asks about Lizea. Kelvin wants to defeat S-class monsters here. The pendants have stat boosts and a secret function. A messenger from Guildmaster Mist informs them of an important person. They meet Taraja's king, Tsubaki Fujiwara, who thanks them for their feats. Tsubaki offers them rice as a reward, holds a banquet, and tries to entice Kelvin to stay. He declines, and they use Taraja's teleportation gate. Word spreads about Kelvin meeting the king. They buy a house and hire Luca and her mother as servants. That night, Melfina returns in her avatar body. Melfina enjoys Eiffel's food and later introduces herself to the group. In the living room, she asks to be called Mel, bestows Kelvin with a blessing, and he ponders hero summoning. Sarah and Mel spar while Luca and Gerard watch. Kelvin contemplates his new ability and the heroes of Doramus. After the spar, they discuss Kelvin's behavior. Mel suggests he perform a reincarnation summon. Kelvin and newly summoned hero Rio both collapse from exhaustion. Kelvin decides to do a reincarnation summon and guides Rio through it. Rio wakes up and shares her backstory with Kelvin. She asks to join his adventure party, and they become step-siblings, calling each other Brother Kel and Rion. Kelvin wakes in his room with Sarah, Mel, and Rion. They all level up as Kelvin battles nearby. Sarah's group helps defeat monsters, and Kelvin tames a shadow wolf. Erd's party arrives to slay monsters. Kelvin introduces Luca and Ellie as maids, and they eliminate forest monsters. Erd suggests reporting for an S-rank promotion. Kelvin assigns the shadow wolf Alex to Rion. Rion practices swordsmanship and spends time with Kelvin's friends. Assassins surround the mansion, but Rion fights them with Kelvin's guidance. They're linked to Kristoff and Tryson. Kelvin defeats them with Clotho. At Tryson Castle, Emperor Zell discusses Kristoff's slave trading ring with generals and children. Doramus, Taraj, and Gaun plan an alliance against Tryson. Tristan suggests war. Shutora opposes. Asgard and General Dan have different views. General Clive becomes the tiebreaker. Later, Jin relays a message to Clive after he indulges in hedonistic pursuits in his room. Kelvin's group races through Crest Forest toward an elven village southwest of Gaun. Eiffel's knowledge of the area, thanks to her elven heritage, stands out. Sarah questions the presence of elves on the eastern continent, and Mel explains their migration to Gaun's protection a decade ago. In a flashback, Guildmaster Leo hints at skirmishes between Tryson and Gaun, foreshadowing a future invasion. Leo assigns Kelvin a special quest from King Leonhard Gaun. In the present, Gerard commends Kelvin's S-rank promotion. The group discusses defending the elven village from an S-rank monster, likely linked to Tryson. Nelras, the village elder, apologizes for his earlier behavior. In the elven village, Nelras shares Lemieux's heroic past, saving them from a fire dragon, but then vanishing. Monsters threaten the village, and Kelvin offers help, granted by Nelras for renovations. Tryson commander-led monsters attack the village. Eiffel snipes the soldiers with a shadow bow, and the group fortifies the village with mist, a magic moat, and Gerard guarding the entryway. Meanwhile, a messenger reports Unit 4's destruction and a Gigant Lord sent to intercept Mel and Rion. Rion defeats the Gigant Lord with Alex's aid. At the village, General Clive and his soldiers assault Kelvin and Eiffel. Hovering near Kelvin and Eiffel, General Clive, accompanied by 4 soldiers, admires Ethel and tries to charm her. Kelvin defends her and discovers Clive's true identity. After a brief skirmish, Clive's soldiers attack Kelvin, but Ethel intervenes, breaking Clive's defense. Kelvin conjures obsidian javelins to fight Clive, who uses a helix barrier to protect himself. During the battle, Kelvin realizes that Clive's attacks harm his own soldiers, but Clive boasts about his cheat ability. Clive recasts his helix barrier, and the fight rages on. Kelvin eventually shatters Clive's barrier and damages his face, while Clive breaks Kelvin's staff. Clive unleashes a powerful spell, Tempest Barrier, but Kelvin counters with his Black Staff Disaster. In the end, FaZe teleports Clive away. At Tryson Castle, Clive is tortured under FaZe's orders. Back in the Elven village, the party celebrates. Ethel gives Kelvin a medallion, pledges her lifelong service, and they're joined by their friends. Leonhard Gone reveals Kelvin's S-rank promotion and upcoming battles against strong opponents. In summary, Kelvin and his friends confront Clive, leading to a battle where Clive is teleported away. Clive is tortured at Tryson Castle, and Kelvin celebrates his promotion with his friends in the Elven village. And that's the end of the video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our new videos. See you next time and take care.